I'm Krista Glennie-Seishu, the executive producer of Nickel City Chef. Today's show, Nickel City Chef VIII, featured Nickel City Chef Krista Van Wagner of Curly's Grill, and she was challenged by the challenging chef Andrew Nuernberger, who comes to us from the famous, historically significant Roycroft Inn. Today's secret ingredient was Balaton cherries, both frozen and dried, and they came to us from Singer Farms Naturals, which is located in Niagara County.
Hi, my name is Ivy Knight. I am a freelance food writer and a chef. I also host events in Toronto that are geared towards Toronto's food and wine industry. I was pleased to see cherries as the secret ingredient. I love cherries. I love the fact that they were using something local and showcasing what Western New York has to offer.
Hi, I'm Tom Zulist from Singer Farm Naturals, and this is my wife Vivian Zulist. We had the secret ingredient today. Balaton cherries, both dried and fresh. At Singer Farms, we produce over 16 varieties of cherries. And it was such a pleasure to be here at the Nickel City Chef to bring product that's grown out on the Lake Ontario shoreline into the kitchens.
I was really pleased with how the chefs use the cherries in their dishes. I think I was expecting a lot more sweetness and some, cloying cherries, 6 plates. So I was surprised to see a lot of differences and a lot of nuances. There was sour, there was sweet, and there was in between.
Hello, I'm Krista Van Wagner from Curly's Grill and Banquet Center in Lackawanna, New York. And this is my husband, Kirk Van Wagner. For our first course today here at Nickel City Chef, we started out with the dried cherry and bacon, and we made some wonderful buttermilk biscuits. We topped that with foie gras, quail eggs, and then we finished it with some popcorn shoots, a cherry gastrique, which is done with a vinegar.
Hello, my name is Andrew Nuernberger. I'm the executive chef at the Roycroft Inn in historic East Aurora, New York.
My name is Dan Pendleton. I'm Andrew's sous chef. I assisted him in today's battle.
For the first course, we vanilla milk poached whole Canadian lobster with some cream, some milk, whole vanilla beans with some celery, little carrot, some peppercorns, and then we served that over a lightly sauteed oyster mushroom, a dried cherry compote. We garnished that up with a little bit of lemon, pepper, and some micro amaranth.
For the second course, we had a brioche crouton, yes, in which we sauteed the quail in a little bit of olive oil and butter. And after the quail finished out, I went ahead and did the croutons and browned them in the butter that the quail was cooked in, so it really brought in a lot of flavor into that crouton. We put the quail on top of the crouton, and we did seasoned goat cheese. We did Israeli couscous with fresh mango, which sort of gave us that really nice sweetness that we were looking for.
For the second course today, we did a prime domestic rack of lamb. We crusted that in with a little bit of star anise, some ground coriander, some fennel seed, a little ginger, a little nutmeg. We pan-seared those, roasted, and then we had some local fingerling potatoes, real simple, oven roasted with a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, with a little bit of sauteed fennel, and we finished it off with a dried Balaton cherry compote.
And the dessert was awesome. It was the lightest sponge that I could possibly make, topped with a Tahitian vanilla, honey, mascarpone mousse, and we finished it with a cherry compote. And I used the frozen cherries for the sour and also for the liquid, with a bit of star anise, cinnamon, and cloves and white peppercorns, all whole, and I just processed them together.
For our final course,
we started off with a balloon, actually blown up, and dipped it in melted chocolate, where I flipped it 4 sides to kind of shape a tulip. And I took a dried cherry and Grand Mar, reduced that down, put a sauce in the cup, put the mousse on, and topped it all off with a dash of powdered sugar.
What I really love about Nickel City Chef is just focusing on local products, local food, support the local farmer, support the local community. We get these ingredients in every day. Why have them flown in halfway around the world when they're in your own backyard? And that's the key, and that's what I really love about Nickel City, is that at the Roycroft Inn in East Aurora, we have a lot of farms just within a short car distance drive to go and pick up fresh local produce, meats, and it's just a great thing to just try to keep the money as close to home as possible.
So in Toronto, we've embraced the local food movement. We're locavore nerds in Toronto, and so I'm really excited to see that movement taking shape here in Western New York, and what you're doing here to showcase it. It's such a unique way to get the message into people's heads and to have them in this space seeing the myriad of possibilities with what you can grow in this state. It's fantastic. You guys do a fantastic job.